Roll the footage.
What is happening, founders? Hope you guys are really doing well today. Welcome to the Elevate podcast, where we're here to lift you up to the next level. My name is Sean Malone. I'm one of the co-hosts alongside of Simon Severino and Neil Fairmont. Gentlemen, how are we doing today? Neil, what's going on?
Hey, all good. Enjoying the summer. It's beautiful and hot here in Portugal. So yeah, getting burnt every day as I go out there. But it's nice. It's nice.
What's one thing that you usually do to kind of like blow off some steam in Portugal?
I'll go running in the morning. I've started running again, but early in the morning because, as it gets a bit later, it's too much. Or swimming in the local pool and things like that, or the river beaches. That's a great way because we don't have tons of beaches here. River beaches are big in Portugal, so it's nice.
I love that. That's amazing. Yeah, Simon, how about you, man? What's a win for you today?
Life is good. Summer is here. I'm officially a fund manager since today. My public portfolio became an ETF, so now friends and family are buying that exchange traded fund to grow their money and keep their money. So it's a good day.
Nice, that's amazing.
Congrats.
My back is getting better.
Oh, you have problems?
Sorry, yeah, I had a two weeks ago, I was playing disc golf and I poor form, obviously, and I tweaked my lower back. And so it's been pretty painful for the last week and a half now. So I have a big tournament coming up in a month. So I got to kind of like get it better. But yeah, it's growing. It's getting better. So I'm excited. I'm on the up and up. But business for us is going really well. We're about to launch a new low ticket funnel, which I'm really excited about. It's a playbook, so that'll be coming out soon. Pretty good. So a direct messaging playbook specifically. So, but today we're going to dive into blogs, newsletters, and how to monetize. So I'm excited about the topic. It's a topic that I think a lot of people have given a lot of thought to, especially if you're a writer, right? There's a lot of places where you can actually go write. You can write emails, you can write newsletters, you can write blogs, you can do a lot of these things. But then it's like, okay, well, how do I make money off my writing, right? And so I think that's where we're going to dive into some of the questions. So I'll just kind of kick off the first question. I got a couple that I'll throw out at you guys. And again, it's always a conversation. And as you're listening, please smash that like button, share this out to someone else that needs it, and make sure to drop a comment. Like, we want to know what you're talking about and what you guys are having questions about. So first question is, what is your initial monetization strategy when you first launched your blog or newsletter? And how has that evolved over time? Simon, I'll come your way.
I'm writing in a very mediocre style since years. And then at the beginning of the year, I said, oh, okay, this is the main problem with my blogs. I have to be much more niched, and the format must be very concise, like a Netflix show. Like when you look at the thumbnail for a Netflix show, you see immediately the main emotion and what you get. It's a compact format, and I never had it that compact. So I split it into two compact formats. I started the investing blog and the sales blog. Each one got one color, one style, one purpose, one format, one audience. And I started writing a little bit each week, then twice a week, then 3 times per week. And I picked from the beginning a platform which I could monetize later. And as soon as I saw it picking up steam, that more subscribers, more open rate, more click rate, I then switched into monetization. But the initial thing was, if this was a Netflix series, how would it look like visually? What's the format?
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really powerful. I think a couple of things that you said that I took notes on is, like, first of all, niche down, right? Because I think if you're, there's a lot of blogs and newsletters and everything that I've read before that are so generic that I don't want to read them, right? They don't actually have like the juice that I would expect to come from a blog or newsletter as a consumer. Neil, how about you? When you're thinking about, initially launching a blog or newsletter, what's your initial monetization strategies and thoughts?
So I started my newsletter about a year ago now in anger. And it was just on the back of the fact that, like you, Sean, I saw quite a lot of generic type of newsletters, and I subscribed to quite a few, and I was getting, similar emails sent to me. Even though those topics were supposedly related, they sort of seemed to be the same subject all the time, which seemed a bit weird. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to share my experiences from a video and audio production perspective. And I just kept it sort of in the more sort of informal feel. So to share my experiences, things that I did right in my career, things that I've done wrong, and lessons that I've learned from that, and try to share those. And just like Simon mentioned, just niche down. That's my niche, video and audio production, and just kept it around sort of those areas. And eventually, I'm not monetized right now, or I'm not asking for paid subscriptions. I'm just giving my sort of best material away for free right now, and using the newsletter really to have that as a lead magnet to help drive more people, maybe to help them with additional problems they may have, and push them to services that I offer. But it's a more an informal, keeping it real. Here's my issues. This is what I've learned from, and please share yours as well. And it's about the engagement. So if people comment and respond back and say, yeah, that resonated with me. Simon's commented on a few that I've posted in the past saying, oh yeah, that really sort of, yeah, I've been there, and so on, which is where I was wanting to sort of push the newsletter front to start with, and not make it too high level and fluffy and generic.
Yes, listeners, creators are people. They have feelings. If you like it, let them know. Say hello. Hey, this is cool. Banger one.
Yeah, I love it. I'll jump in and I'll say, like, when I first started thinking, now I have a newsletter that's been running for almost 5 years now. I've built blogs before. I think what Simon said is good. I think, like, as I went into it thinking about, like, when you first start, if you're just thinking about getting started with a blog or newsletter, definitely niche down, I think, is absolutely the right choice. I like having a concise format. So if you've read some other blogs that you like, right? Monkey see, monkey do. Good artists copy, great artists steal, like Picasso said. So maybe steal the format and then use it for your own. Don't copy the words, of course, because that's plagiarism. But I think the other pieces is like, think through how you want to monetize, because there's a couple of ways that you can monetize a blog or a newsletter. Here's the ones that I thought about when I went down the path of mine. First of all, you can make affiliate marketing income. What does that mean? Well, if you happen to be writing about video audio like Neil is, well, guess what? He can affiliate market camera companies like Canon and I don't know the other ones, Neil, sorry, but I'm just saying, it's like he can say, hey, like, if you like this camera, maybe does a blog article about a specific camera that he doesn't make or manufacture. He's like, if you want one of these, go over here, use my link and get X amount % off or something like that. You've heard that before. That is one way that you can make money with a blog or newsletter. Another way is what the three of us actually do, is sell our own products and services as well. So there's about 5 of them here. So just kind of list them. First one's affiliate marketing. Is that something you want to do? Number 2, sell your own products or services, right? So this is going to be, you're a specific expert on a topic, like Simon's a specific expert on sales strategy. And if you need that help, like, you can go down and absorb and eat a lot of his free content and then say, oh my gosh, I need to be in the 200K club. Oh my gosh, I need a strategy sprint. Like, I'm going to go buy from Simon, right? Next one's advertising and sponsorships, right? If your blog audience gets big enough, people in your industry will hunt you down and say, hey, would you put my promo material on your blog or newsletter, and I will pay you money for it. That's another way you can monetize a blog or newsletter. Next one is premium content or subscription. So if you have like levels, right? So your basic level is free, and then people can pay you, like you've heard of, oh my gosh, what's it called? Not Pantheon, but the
Patreon.
Patreon, sorry. Yeah, it's something P. I knew that, but Patreon, right? So, like, obviously I haven't messed with that, but Patreon has different tiers. So you have a free version, and then somebody can go over to Patreon and pay $3 a month and get extra information from you. That's another way where you can build a membership and make some money. So premium content and subscriptions and different levels, something to think about. And then, of course, the last one, the one that I see the most on YouTube, so specifically in the traders world, when a trader is dissecting candlestick charts and they say something totally genius, some people on their YouTube, like in this case, it'd be a vlog, right? Or a kind of that kind of story, you can accept donations or tips, right? They call them super chats on YouTube anyways. And so like, if you say something absolutely dope, you can say, hey, look, if you think this was valuable, drop me a super chat. And then they'll just say, here's $5. And then all of a sudden you make a little bit of money off that too. So when I thought about like, how am I going to monetize our stuff? The two things that I focused on, I just chose two of these. I didn't choose a lot of them. I chose sell products to my own products. And I chose, I want to affiliate market for some of our other people that are in the same space as us. Like, so I chose two, and that's how we've done it. So now, has this worked? Yes, absolutely. Right. We promote somebody in my newsletter and it causes them to click over and go watch a webinar from a buddy. And then the buddy closes the deal. And then guess what? I made a referral fee. That's nice. So, and then of course, when you sell your own stuff. So let me come back to you, Simon. Now that I've listed kind of like the five that I thought about, which ones do you use? Are there different ways to monetize? Like, what are you doing here?
So one of my two blogs has now 3 monetization loops on. It's the investing show. The sales show I will monetize starting this week. The investing show is on Beehive. And the first monetization, I created 3, and you can do this probably also on Substack. I created 3 tiers: bronze, silver, gold. Bronze, you get a weekly deep dive of a company. Silver, you get detailed valuation models, discounted cash flow calculations of that company, and also if I own it in my portfolio or not, and what's in my portfolio. Now, if you want also to have real-time trades of when is Simon buying exactly or selling something, that's then gold. And that has also access to my options portfolio, which is generating income. Versus in the silver, it's just compounding. So you have to wait 20 years to make money. But in the gold, you make money this month. So it was easier to create those 3 tiers because there is a clear ascension of value, right? And so one person bought the gold membership. I made $600 from that annual membership. The second loop is I recommend other bloggers. I can select them. And one of them paid me $1.60. So that's the second loop, right? And from $0 to $1.60, that's the most important milestone, because from 160 to 16 will be much easier. And from 16 to 160 will be easier because you just have to tweak things, right? But now you know that it's working. There is a loop. And it also works the other way around. So other people recommend you, you pay them 160, you make a subscriber. So that's the affiliate side is actually 2 loops on both sides. Plus there are boosts, which means you can also, when you send your blog as a newsletter, you can include them. And it's similar, like a recommendation. And plus, you can also start adding ads, which I will next week. But I want to be careful not to, disrupt a good experience because you see ads. So I have to check how they really look like and if they fit. But again, I can select who can run an ad and which ad and even the dates.
I love that. Are you, let me ask you a question. I'll go a little bit deeper on that. That last one you mentioned about ads. I've seen a lot of ads in a lot of different newsletters and blogs and formats and everything else. And it's like, is it kind of similar to like placement ads or like banner ads, and then that kind of goes inside of the blog newsletter? Is that what you're talking about specifically?
Yes, you can drag it. It's a little banner and you can drag it wherever you want. You can put it in the very end, at the very beginning, in the middle. You drag it up and down in Beehive. That's what I like about it. And it's small. And actually, it creates less work for us because I write it, then I give it to Michelle to publish. Now, when I write it, it's a text. It's a wall of text. You can't read that thing. So I asked Michelle to to go to the website of that company and make some screenshots from the annual presentation, for example, and insert those screenshots. Now that we have the recommendation and the ads, it's not a wall of text anymore. So it's actually visually more appealing, and it's less work for Michelle. She doesn't have to create visuals anymore. So we will test how the audience thinks of it, but so far we like it.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's awesome. We'll get into formatting here in a second. Neil, is there anything you would add on the kind of the ways to monetize now that we've listed a few? Are there any different ones that you use, or what's the plan for you? How are you monetizing? What are you doing there?
So a couple of things. So similar to Simon, I'm looking at adding some tiered paid community pieces to my Substack, and it's similar to Beehive. So you can have tiered levels, if you like, regarding the people that can just subscribe to your newsletter. You can set that value to whatever you want. And I've seen some people's Substacks, they're charging maybe $200 to $300 a month, depending on what type of content they're giving. So the pricing is really varied, especially for what I've seen on Substack. You can start as little as $1 and go all the way up. It's entirely up to you. I think the big difference is, though, that you've mentioned is that Substack, Beehive, when you're setting up a blog and things like that, there is no entry criteria like there is in YouTube, and I'll talk about YouTube in a second. So you can start monetizing tomorrow if you wanted to. You can set up your Beehive, you can set up your Substack, and if you think your content warrants a fee of some kind or a membership or some paid portion, then you can start tomorrow. All you got to do is set up your Stripe account and away you go. Now with YouTube, there is an entry criteria to be in the YouTube partner program before you can become monetized, before you can enable super chats and things like that. So YouTube do a number of different things. They're changing all the time with the criteria. It's 500 to get a certain level of entry, and then it's 1,000 subscribers upwards to be able to start monetizing YouTube channel with 3,000 plus watch hours in one calendar year. So I'm actually monetized on YouTube. It took a long time to get through those hoops. So you can definitely, yes, start the super chat stuff and things like that. And you can also now with YouTube add memberships. So similar to Substack, you can sort of paywall your content, whether your video specific content, to be part of a membership. So you can, when you post your YouTube video, you can say, is this for members only? And if so, then you set the price of that membership as well. But YouTube is very clear. They say, do not enable your membership unless you've actually got something that you're going to follow through with and give your viewers. Because there's nothing worse than people paying for something and then you take 3 to 4 months before you give them something. So I think my advice is you have to be intentional with what type of data and what type of services you're going to give to these people for the membership, irrespective if it's a $5 a month thing. If I'm paying $5 to somebody, I'm expecting something on a weekly, monthly, whatever basis. So you got to set that cadence and you've got to stick to it, or you're going to get a bad reputation with not being somebody that follows through for that. So don't only monetize when you're ready, I think.
I really like that. I also think like this 10-to-1 exchange in value to money is also relevant here. I think it's a metric to just keep in mind. If you charge somebody $5 a month to read your blog, you better deliver about $50 worth of value every month to that person, whatever that value might going to be in your world. So it also brings me into kind of like the next topic here, which is how do you determine between like the free content that you're creating and then the paid tiers, and how does that, what's the thought process there? Simon, I'll kick it over to you.
One more thing that I forgot in the beginning is when I thought about the format, I thought also about the journey. So what's the journey from A to B, that if they become a member, which journey are they embarking on? And so I made it about my journey. I said, guys, I am creating a portfolio from 25K to 4 million. You can join this. So on this journey from A to B, you can be part of it. And that is probably also something to play with. If you can, that creates the story arc, and that's the tension. That's a prerequisite for now your question, what do they pay for? Right? What's the paywall and where do you put it? So it was easier for me in the investing show than in the sales show. Because in the investing show, it's okay, you pay nothing, you get research. You pay something, you get research that makes you 4 million in 20 years. You pay a little bit more, you get research and trade alerts that make you money this month. So it's tangible, it's fair, it's clear, right?
Yeah, I really like the tying your I'm just writing that down. Tie your levels to different outcomes, right? So if you think about the end goal for your reader, and you focus on, obviously, hey, if you just want to learn some trading strategies or whatever, like sign up for my free stuff. It's like, no, if you want to make 20 million or 4 million in 20 years, get the second tier. We'll show you exactly how I'm doing it, and you can just copy me, right? And then the third, and I think that's really, really interesting, right? It's like now the third tier is, hey, what are you paying for? You're paying not to think, because Simon's doing a trade, and if you're going to copy him, like now you don't have to think. You just give him money and then do the same trade he does, and now you win. So I like tying your levels to different outcomes, based on like what's in it for them. So I think that's a really cool way. Neil, because I hadn't figured that out yet, by the way. So Neil,
and
how
one
do you
piece,
separate?
I was looking at competitors. So what am I missing, and what are people missing from competitors?
Mm-hmm.
Many people out there are saying, hey, I can help you make money. What they don't share is their own portfolio with the real numbers and with the real positions. So it was very clear to me, if you want to create something that's real and that stands out and has trust, hey, show the real numbers in real time. And the little conversation with me, wow, how much risk am I bringing into my family and into my life? Is it worth it? And then after that decision, it was clear, okay, this is transparent and this is skin in the game. And then I also feel good with it, because I think that's the main problem in the finance industry is you have people managing money for other people and doing all kinds of games, like Ponzi schemes, basically, instead of, real stuff and really caring about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's your own money, you wake up very early, you research thoroughly, and you are on it. And if you do that and you open it up, I thought that's the show that I would want to see. And so that became the show. So it's I am bringing 25K to this. I'm transforming into 4 million. I'm right now at 1.1 million. You can join the journey at this stage and do this together.
Perfect. Neil, over to you, man. How do you separate your free content from your paid content? What do you do? How do you just use that? Go through the mind process that you walked through.
For me, it's about sort of delivering value that you can't get somewhere else. So whether that be something from my own experiences, some behind the scenes, some tips and tricks, something that I'm exclusively working on that nobody else is at the moment, or there's some form of workflow that I've discovered that I'll share and give away as part of a paid piece of content. That's something that's going to separate what I'm doing from the free stuff. There's a lot of free information out there that you can get it online, so there's no point sort of regurgitating that and then trying to sort of sell that off as a tiered plan. So one of the things I'm looking at as well is maybe giving like exclusive live streaming Q&A to members, so they get an exclusive amount of time. Nobody else is getting that because I'm not putting that on my sort of live stream. That's a closed loop, for example. So I could use the newsletter to drive people to this exclusive 10-person Zoom session for 30 minutes where, it's only open for paid members and things like that. Answer the questions that maybe the members have, give some behind the scenes stuff. So there's different ways that I'm thinking of doing that. But I don't believe what some people do, let's say in the streaming sort of gaming environment, where if you're paying like $5 a month, you're going to get some exclusive emojis so you can then post them into the chat and things like that. That's not valuable. That's just fun and entertaining. And it's like the sticker game, right? Where people used to buy stickers and have that in your sticker book and stuff. That's fine. And I think that's where it came from originally, because people like collectibles and exclusive sort of things like that. But I'm not in the NFT world and stuff like that. So I'm thinking doing more things that's sort of valuable to my community, because at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is build a community. a group of like-minded people that see value in what you do, things that you say resonate with them, and then you share your real-world experiences, vulnerable and otherwise, to really just deliver value and just keep it real to the people that are supporting you.
I'm writing all out. God, man, I got lots of notes today. Hope you guys listening as well have a bunch of notes. Make sure and drop comments below because this is fire. If you've always wanted to build a blog or newsletter or had thoughts about it, this is definitely the episode for you. Let's go on. Okay, so now we kind of know the difference between where's free, where's paid, what that means, paywall, all this stuff. What metrics do you track to know if you're winning? I guess is like the big next question here. So Neil, maybe I'll pop back over to you here. Like with yours, like what are the metrics? Why did you choose them? How do you track them?
Well, having read somebody's information recently, click-through rates aren't always the best. So let's talk about engagement really. And in terms of what I measure is in terms of if I'm putting any call to actions or anything like that, are people actually going off that data, off that newsletter that I'm sending them? Are they clicking on and going on to something else? And does that turn into either a conversation call, a meeting, a download of a digital product, whatever it might be? Those are some of the metrics that I'm looking at. So it's got to be tangible for me, and also engagement. So, I have a YouTube channel. Are people commenting on the stuff that I put out there? Is it helping them? Does it resonate with them? Do I answer their questions? And I think for me, that's the thing that I'm looking at in terms of measuring the metrics. It's the comments, it's the engagement, and it's the views, especially on YouTube. So are people staying on my channel? Are they watching the videos? And in terms of the newsletters that I'm posting, am I getting comments? Are people resharing? Are people actually, restacking, as they call it on Substack? So similar to what Simon said, you can get referrals, but people can also restack. So on LinkedIn, for example, you can repost. On Substack, you can restack, which means they've actually read that. And in some of the metrics, you can see how many people have actually looked at that and clicked through and done other things on the newsletter. So I think it depends on what platform you use. There are a ton of different metrics, but I'm avoiding just impressions or clicks because they aren't always the right metrics. LinkedIn, for example, will give you something called impressions, which means how many people could potentially see your newsletter or post, because LinkedIn obviously has the mechanism to do that. That's not the right metric to use. It's the engagement. It's has anybody actually clicked or done something with that post.
Yeah, I love that. I think most people are like, well, what if there was one metric to measure? What would it be? Like, I like that thought process, but I think when you're writing a blog, you kind of have to have more than just one metric. I definitely think sales dollars or deals closed should probably be measured at some point. In my world, it's like I sell my own products and then I promote other people's products and services. And so one of the metrics I check is, hey, did somebody buy something? Yes or no? Right. Yeah. And then I think about, okay, well, if they didn't buy something, what's the step before that would make the most important metric to measure? Did they get to the page and see the offer? Or did they go to the thing and do the thing? So what Neil's talking about, I think is true, is like how many people actually clicked through and read the thing, if you can track that. And as he said, like click-throughs are on emails are kind of a dying metric to track these days. But anyway, another day, another topic on that one. Over to you, Simon. Question is, what metrics do you track and why? How?
I get a daily email from Beehive and I love it. It's really, these are your new subscribers. This is the cash you made. This is the number of people that have put you on their recommended list. And then I get a star. So if the more stars you have, the more you are recommended by others. And then it says this, so many boosted you, or so many of your boosts created so many new subscribers or new revenue on the other side. So it's very numeric. I get it in my email inbox, which motivates me. Or sometimes if I forget about it, I get reminded, oh yeah, sure. Hey, I have a blog. Come on, it's time to monetize. Maybe that was the kicker actually, because I saw, okay, subscribers are growing. Hey, let me try. Maybe they want to pay for it. And so because I'm seeing the visual dashboard and I'm seeing the number go up, first of all, I want to continue seeing it go up. So that motivates me to write again and to write better stuff. And second, I was like, okay, hey, maybe there is monetization opportunity here.
That's brilliant. And then when they pay you, it's validated, right? Because I always think like, how do you validate an offer? I've always believed that if you get 5 people to pay you money for the thing you're selling, it's validated 100%, right? One, maybe lucky. 2, okay, maybe it's a friend or family, but you get to 5, like it's pretty validated, which is pretty strong. Last question here as we end up this episode of blogging and how monetizing newsletters. Looking back, Simon, I'll start with you. Looking back, what's one piece of advice you'd give to a new blogger founder who's just starting to think about monetizing their content? What would you do? What would you tell them? Why?
I would think about the format of your work, like a Netflix format, and what's the journey from A to B that you are going through and they can enter by entering your world. Because in the end, it's that, right? People buy a journey because it's their journey and they see, oh, that's my journey. This person is going through my journey and they're going powerfully and with courage through that. And they are maybe 2 steps ahead of me. I want that. That's my people. That's the knowledge that I need. That's the alpha that I am looking for. So, for example, I want to learn how to go live. And then I see Neil is going live right now and he has already 50 people there. And so, oh my God, he has that alpha. He made already so many mistakes. If I join that, I can get ahead. I can get 2 steps ahead. I can be on my journey, but faster and better, right? Because he has the shortcuts. He has the experience. And so this is what I would think about, especially if you're a service provider. Think about what's the A to B journey. Maybe it's your journey. I think that's the most transparent and the best. But maybe it's just your client's journey. I can get you from A to B. Then you have a credibility program. Okay, but why should I listen to you, right? So you better have some testimonials in there or a reason why they should believe you. And people got burned on that side. Like, for example, you should listen to me because I was at YouTube and now I can help your YouTube channel. Well, that's usually absolutely not helpful because when you are at YouTube, you are a corporate guy. And the corporate guys, they don't move anything. They just sit in meetings all the time. And so now you pay them and you get these meetings, blah, blah, blah. And you go, guy, hey, that's what I'm paying for? So the credibility piece is important. Why should I trust you? Why? And but if you want people to get it, what this is about, you need a journey from A to B.
Okay, I love it. So you said, think about your format. What does it look like? Again, this is where I'm thinking like, go find a couple of newsletters that are already paid or blogs that are already paid and look at the formats that they're using and then copy those to start. It's the easiest way to do it because you don't have to recreate the wheel in this particular circumstance. You just use almost an identical format, but then you want to put your own stuff in there. I think one of the other things that I would share here is with format comes content. So don't be the person who goes and looks at someone else's blog and then just repurposes it using AI in your own voice to do your own thing. Like that's never usually going to work for a long, it's a short-term strategy, might get you some cash now, but it's not a long-term sustainable play that will actually grow a business, right? So I would say with the content inside of your blog or your newsletter, really think through how to solve a problem for somebody and then break that up into a bunch of bits and then each blog becomes a part of that, right? So like what I did when I've actually been doing this for 2 years now, is I just chose my avatar. I'm sure everybody has a very clear avatar. If you don't, go get one. And then go to AI and say, hey, AI, here's my avatar. They struggle with this problem. What are 4 major problems that they're going to have going through and solving this problem? And now you have 4 problems, right? And each one of those problems becomes 1 quarter's worth of content for you, 3 months worth, right? Because then you take each one of those 4 and you say, okay, if this was the major problem, what are the 3 sub problems that created this? And now you have a monthly topic. And then it's like, okay, this is the first subtopic. What are 5 ways to solve this problem? That becomes your article of what you write week over week over week if you're doing it weekly. And so I broke it down from that standpoint because then I know like, hey, I'm talking to the exact person that I sell to and I'm solving the exact problem I know that they already have because I've looked through this. And when people read my blogs, they're like, oh, this is fun. This is easy. I use a lot of GIFs. I use memes because I like to keep it light, but also give a little bit of sauce in every episode that I use or build. So that's kind of the only piece I'd add is like content inside of the format. So format, content, very valuable. And then the journey. Neil, over to you. If you had to give one piece of advice to a new founder starting a blog or a newsletter about monetizing their content, what do you tell them?
Well, I would agree with both what you said as well in terms of your main points. For me, I think I would add to that by just saying, don't pick a platform that has entries for paywalls. So start with something that's free and available so you can start your journey straight away, because a lot of people will chase those metrics. So I need to get to X amount of subscribers. I need to get X amount of followers before I can actually monetize. And you just do get despondent with that. So pick a platform that you can start today. You can share your experiences. I would say to keep it real with your own valuable experiences and share those and be vulnerable, and pick this platform, as I mentioned, that basically you don't need to have any metrics to start with. So you can start today. You can monetize today if you want to, and just slowly build your community, and don't worry about all those metrics in terms of, oh, I've only got 5 subscribers now, I've only got 3 people that's looked at that. You have to start somewhere. We all start with 0, but don't pick a platform that means I now have to get to 1,000 before I can even do anything, because that's just basically,
yeah, and I think I'll just add on to that, Neil, because I think that's really valuable. People are going to say, well, how do I get exposure? How do I get distribution? And the fastest and the easiest way to get exposure and distribution is to use DMs. Find your target market and say, I just started this new blog project. I'd love for you to be a subscriber and read about it. Are you open to it? They say yes. You're like, great, go to this link and sign up. And you can send that out every single day and grow your following. Now, just to prove that concept, I built a newsletter on Beehive for disc golf. Of all niches that you could think of, it's kind of a weird one. I was able to build 2,500 subscribers in less than 3 weeks doing that. So yes, it absolutely works. And then from there, now I have an audience of 2,500. And now I'm actually attracting some of these manufacturers who want to do paid stuff inside of that newsletter. So it's like very, very simple to do, and it's all free. Just use DMs and ask if they're interested, because I think you're the right fit for this. Might be a good fit. Would you like to check it out? They say yes. You say great. Here's the link. Go sign up. It's a 2 DM sequence, and you can win really quickly doing that if you're just elbow grease hustle. The second move is paid, right? You can always use paid ads to grow your newsletter or your blog, which is another piece that I won't go into because that's not my specialty. But yeah, so some of that's kind of how you start to get a little bit of exposure and distribution. And so with that said, any closing thoughts here, Simon?
I think next week we will talk about, now that you are a creator and that we, the 3 of us, we are creators. So we are good now at giving, serving. We have to learn one thing so that we don't burn out. So next week we talk about boundaries. What are the creators' boundaries? What to say no to, who to say no to, where do you create a line in the sand that protects your creativity and your energy so that you can actually serve your audience that you're building over decades.
Cool. Neil, last thoughts? Any last words?
No, I just, again, with Simon's point, I like the fact that to say no to something, because it's very easy when you're just starting off to say yes to everything, and then you just become overwhelmed. So that's going to be a great topic for next week, definitely.
Yeah, like they say, millionaires say yes, billionaires say no. That's interesting. That's the last one, right? So,
next week is the billionaire episode, guys.
The billionaires episode. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here for the Elevate podcast, where we lift founders up to the next level. Today, we talked everything blog, monetization, newsletter. We covered ways to monetize a blog. We talked about how to niche down, the formats, picking platforms, looking at all kinds of good stuff in terms of like what you should think about as you go through the journey of your prospect and how to do this. And hopefully this has given you a little bit of a roadmap on how you can elevate your game to the next level. With that said, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next week, same time, same channel, with the same people. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye for now.
Peace.
Avoid trying to do thousands of things that doesn't work. We have 274 templates for your business success. Reach your ambitious goals with one-on-one sprint coach. We double your revenue in 90 days.
If your business would run well, even when you are on vacation, discover how 1,600 business owners have regained their freedom using the Strategy Sprints blueprints. How they enjoy living their dream and watching their business scale. Get the exact checklists they use to go from stressed to fulfilled using the Strategy Sprints method. Order your copy of Strategy Sprints 12 Ways to Accelerate Growth for an Agile Business on Amazon today.
Okay.